emerging from a very chaste quarantine and 100% ready for the discotheque.
Oh my God.
Play your cards right, and I'll show you my Bitmoji. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of 30, Flirty, and Surviving. It is me, Tracy, your host. You can find everything going on with the show on Instagram at 30, Flirty, Surviving, and you can catch up with new episodes by either watching or listening. There's YouTube, iHeart, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Now, on this day, this very special holiday, you might be planning something sexy and romantic with your partner. You may be celebrating a little Valentine's Day with your best girls, or you just may be participating in a little self-love. So however you choose to celebrate love and celebrate this holiday, I commend you. I support you. I'm happy for you. Do what makes you feel comfortable and don't let comparisons and anything else get in your way. But that being said, if you do fall into the latter groups, the Valentines, the self-love, and you might be single, you might be on the market, this is going to be a good episode for you. To keep on the theme, I have with me today Cory Gorovitz, who is the founder of the LuvHut dating app. Cory, say hello.
Hello, guys. Glad to be here. Tracy is absolutely killing it. And you got an awesome holiday coming up, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. If you guys have not heard about the LuvHut dating app yet, you can go on to the Instagram. It is Love, L-U-V, not L-O-V-E, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
LuvHut dating app. And then you can also follow along with more like behind the scenes stuff or just things on Cory at Gorovitz23. Is 23 your favorite number?
23 is my hockey number.
Your hockey number. I feel like every dude in the history of sports picks 23 when
Michael
at
Jordan.
all possible. Yeah. Okay, I love that. And then also to learn more, I mean, we're going to dive into all the specifics, so many questions. We're going to go on like what the process was like to create an app, why you got it started, dating do's and don'ts, tips and tricks. But if you guys do want to learn more, or there's anything that we don't cover, you can also go on to the LuvHut.com and learn a little bit more on the website. So, Cory.
Tracy.
First and foremost, I want you to tell me in your own words a little bit about your dating app itself and what the LuvHut is all about.
Yeah, so LuvHut is a lot different than the dating apps right now. Obviously, we know Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. This is more authentic, more video-based, and it's just more personalized. So it's a video-based dating app where users can create their own algorithms, post stories, and it has that social network feel of kind of TikTok and Instagram where it's definitely short-form video-based, and you get to book your own dates throughout the app and earn rewards throughout it, which are pretty incredible.
Earning rewards. Yeah. Okay. And so it's not like we're not here to just swipe left and right.
No,
like
absolutely no more swiping. We are ending that era of swiping, and we can't end up in a lawsuit with Tinder and Bumble. They're in one right now fighting that battle. So we're doing our own movement.
Okay. And there's so many different components, and I think we're going to get into each and every single one of them. But one of the things that you have sort of claimed is you're changing the game. There's a broken system. You identified what's wrong, and LuvHut is here to fix it.
Yeah.
What actually makes LuvHut, like from more of like a user standpoint? Okay. Give me like the specifics of what makes it different besides the swiping from other apps and like how it works and the connectivity of it all.
Yeah, definitely. So we've eliminated Catfish, which is a huge problem in the dating world, fake users. We've gotten rid of the deceptive algorithms where it's more of a hot or not phenomenon. You're like swipe. And it's like, wait, who did I just match with?
Yeah.
And it's like all that stuff we're getting rid of. So you actually have to interact with a profile for a certain amount of seconds. And you get to create like your own algorithm for your type and like what you like versus like, oh, this is what Tinder and Hinge are telling me to do. And it's like, you're never going to match with them. This is what you want. And everyone, what they want is just different.
So just like how if I was on my Instagram feed, based on the things that I am liking or the accounts I follow, or maybe even Big Brother, like the Google websites I search, I start getting advertisements, right?
Yep.
Like, so that's how the algorithm like all starts to kind of put itself into play.
Yeah.
And so with you guys, it's not Big Brother, but it's noticing what you've liked, what you've maybe scrolled on, and starting to build a personalized algorithm. So it's like the same concept, more or less,
it's a
right?
personalized algorithm that will actually show you how compatible, where and why you guys are compatible. So it's all these different components that like really give someone like the ammo they need for that first date. And I just feel like it's very authentic. It's a conscious way of approaching dating, and it's what today's singles really need.
So then how does the matching aspect, like, do I have to like you and you have to like me? Does it still work that way? Or are there suggestions being thrown?
So it's still that way.
Okay.
But you get to see how compatible you are. So we're giving you a percentage and a scorecard.
Oh, there's statistics. Yeah, so there's
statistics. We're basically providing you the insights. Yeah, so we're providing users insights on how compatible you are, and you can either take it or you can run with it.
Okay, I like that a lot. And then tell me about the rewards too.
Yeah, so
you were mentioning
rewards.
that.
So basically, our dating app is to seamlessly book dates. So we're trying to simplify that process of you going through DMs and waiting a couple days and finding a restaurant that might be in the middle for you guys. So we're basically curating all these locations.
Half the fucking battle.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And we're basically trying to provide a safe place for users to meet up at. And these are basically all location based. And when you book a date, once your date's completed, you'll receive rewards either through crypto or through other giveaways, which are like sports tickets, events, gift cards to local businesses. And that's like our mission, is we're trying to give back to all these local businesses hurt by the pandemic. And
kudos to you.
Thank you.
That is really special and super selfless of you. So it can really narrow down to like where you both are located, what your interests are, and it's going to eliminate the whole like back and forth. Should we talk on the app? Should we get your number? Like, when is he going to ask me out? And just tell you like, hey, Tracy and Cory, you guys should go to this place, like, and they give you what they would suggest based on what they know about you so far, what the app knows about you so far.
Of course, yeah. So it's basically, we're trying to break all those broken processes and just cut to the chase of getting to dating. I mean, you could wait 5 to 7 days, and really we're trying to get you into a date, whether it matters, and you can decide like, hey, I want to move on to the second date or I don't.
I am like...
And it's a way of earning
cool
like some
stuff.
passive income. Like, you know, like, crypto's huge right now. Our generation loves it.
Yeah.
Some people might have made a killing.
Heck
Not going to say myself, but
It's still a little bit of Japanese to me, but I am sure. I trust your word.
Thank you.
We have been talking about this for a while, but I know first, I think it's important. This is not live yet, right?
No,
the app is not available at this moment.
Nope.
Is there a date in mind and when it will be?
Yeah, definitely spring. We're thinking early to mid-spring, so maybe like April, May. Our beta will be rolled out for 2 weeks. Everyone in our beta, we have over 6,000 people on our wait list.
First crow.
Yeah, so a little over 6,000.
Okay.
That will be our community, and for 2 weeks they'll use it. After the 2 weeks is over, we're going to launch, and we're going to be available for the public. And like, that's where we're going to see a whole fledge of people from our campuses and people our age using it. So yeah.
Okay. And then so when the beta's over and real users can start diving in, is there going to be a wait list? Is it like, as long as I want to subscribe and be a member, I'm in?
Yeah.
What's
So
that
basically,
process look
once the beta's over, everyone can download the app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what is I know you said there's a 2-week trial, right?
2-week trial.
And then, I mean, if you're handing out crypto, I have a feeling it's going to cost me, which is okay. I'm sure it's worth it. But what does the membership fee look like? And is that like can I get out at any time? Are you locked in for a certain time period?
Yeah, so you can definitely get out at any time.
Okay.
For the membership fee, it's $5.99 for college students. And you can earn up to $5 per month in dates, so it's basically 99 cents for them.
Yeah.
$17.99 for 1 month for everyone else who's not in college. You're basically paying $11.99 at the end of the month, and then $39.99 for 3 months. Pretty similar because on the other dating apps, it's like Bumble's $32.99, Tinder's $11.99. So like we're fitting ourselves right in the middle.
Yeah.
And we don't sell features. We're selling great results and experience on dates.
But so with that being said, like Bumble, I can do it for free and then opt into a membership for
system.
Additional features.
Yeah.
You guys, it's like, it is what it is. You're going to get what you get. Yeah. You pay this and you get everything.
You get dates, you get results, you get authentic people. Everyone's verified before they actually can sign up for our app.
Awesome. Yeah. This seems really cool. It's a very atypical way of looking at dating, and it's utilizing real information and not just guessing. And
it's kind of like a guessing game. I feel like it's like, oh, you swipe and then like you chat and you really just hope for the best. Like whatever comes out of it comes out. And it's like, you don't want that.
What's cool about this too is I'm not saying me personally, but I'm saying other people, like if you use the Bumbles, the Hinges, you maybe use it for a little bit, then you delete the app, then you get bored, or you just need a little, confidence boost. Yeah. You download again, and you see all the same frickin' people.
It is.
I feel like with the LuvHut, as I'm maturing, as I'm like changing, my algorithm's going to change. And so it's kind of eliminating
your choice
possibility of just the same dudes all the time.
Yeah, so I'm so glad you said that. So you can actually go in the algorithm and change it if you aren't getting the results you're looking for. So it's
can I make parameters?
Yeah, so you're never stuck with just one thing. Like if you don't like the content you're seeing, it's basically we're powered by content, matches, and rewards. Okay. That's our whole platform. And if you don't like the content you're seeing, you can change that. You're basically stuck with everything else in the other app.
What are the requirements for a profile, though, or to set up your account?
Yeah, so it's all videos. There will be 5 videos hosted.
5 videos.
By the user. And then there's the 5 sections of how we're creating our figures, which are personality, professionalism, interests, hobbies, and questions.
Okay.
You'll be able to view all that from the other side. So if we were to match, I could see all those things about you and actually get to know who you are.
Okay,
before we went out on a date.
I feel like you need a little bit of something.
And that's not like you're
like
heading into that day and you're like, oh my God, it's going to be an awkward interview. Like, what do I ask him? What do I say?
Yeah. I know. When we were talking on the phone, I was like, I am thinking of this. I work in staffing. And so I think of everything like a job, like interview process. Yeah. And I think that it eliminates the phone screen process of the interview. It brings you right to the in-person, right?
And like you can talk about those things and like really have a authentic conversation rather than being like, oh, so like, what do you do for work? And then this guy goes on and on and on. And then you're like, wait, I do not want to date him. That's what happens.
Oh, I've been there. I understand. Okay. Well, I've done my research. I know that you are in a happy relationship, happy and healthy relationship. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So aside from obviously just seeing a broken system and then kind of wanting to seize an opportunity, where did your passion for a dating app specifically come to play when you're not on the market?
I know, yeah. So this was a while ago. So this actually came back in 2016. I just love entrepreneurship. I love creating creating things, solving people's problems. And really it was like 2016, I was single. Me and my girlfriend, we've been dating for 4 years. Love her to death. And on 2016, like I was using it, I just wasn't getting the results that I saw. And I started using Bumble and Tinder and Hinge. And like, okay, on Bumble, you have to wait for the girl to message you and stuff. And it's just like, I didn't want to play that game. Like I wanted to message her, you know? And story be short, I actually got Catfish 2 years later.
No.
Yeah. So right around as I'm dating my girl.
How did you find out it was a catfish?
So my friends were messaging me. Our girlfriends were like, hey, like, why are you saying this weird thing to me? And they would send us screenshots of it. And I was like, oh my God. Almost ruined our relationship on the spot as we just entered one. Yeah. And it's like, I had long been off the app, didn't have it on my phone. I was like, oh God. And I just like, my mind was like, how is this happening? Yeah. So I hate Catfish and story be short, the dating apps didn't work the way I needed it.
Okay, so that makes sense. So A speaks to how long of a process this really is when you're developing an app or starting a business.
It's a long one.
But that does kind of, you were single or just like almost in a relationship, but still single when the idea came to mind. So that probably sparked a lot of your interest behind it.
It sparked a lot of my interest, and like that was still the time I was like playing hockey, so I played junior hockey and stuff. So that really wasn't that focused on my mind until I entered college, and like I had entered a new chapter of my life where I was like, you know what, I definitely want to become an entrepreneur. I want to have my own company one day. It wasn't this about 3 years ago because I was working on auto thefts, like preventing auto thefts. Huge market of that. And then someone beat me to market in that. And I ended up pivoting for a week and was like, you know what? My best next idea is a dating app. And I just went all in with it.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. And so we've been chatting about this day since what? November, October.
Literally Halloween. We're supposed to do this on Halloween. And I was like, okay, we'll do a Christmas one and a New Year's one. And I was like,
well, you know what? Everything works out the way it's supposed to. I don't think Valentine's Day could be more perfect. So it was well worth the wait. But because of that, I know a little bit behind the scenes of what you've been doing and speaking to how long of a process it actually is. Not to like give it all away, but for people at home, like give me a little bit of intel on what the process was like to actually create an app. I mean, there's investors, there's so much of your own marketing and your own finances you have to put into it, time, energy. Where do you start and what did that kind of evolve into?
Building a startup, I wouldn't wish that on any person because it is a process. Like it is a lot of drive, a lot of heart, a lot of stress, and it's like a roller coaster. Like that's the startup life is like a roller coaster. One day you're doing great, one day you're not. And so far I've already put in $40,000 into this business, completely bootstrapped.
Holy cannoli.
Yeah, so it's $40,000 hard earned cash, and I really believe that we will take off with more investors coming through. And building this was just been a lot of marketing by myself, a lot of long late nights where I would stay up till 1, 2, 3 in the morning. My girlfriend would already be in bed and I'd still be building out screens like, okay, looking at all these apps. And to be honest, I use these dating apps while with her to build.
It's market research, honey.
It is. And she was like, what do you mean? And I showed her all this data and she like couldn't believe it. Like it was swiping for me and matching with people. And then it would automatically send them a message to go join LuvHut.
So you're like all my hard work's paying off.
So it was a great way of like saying like, okay, I can see how these apps are working and in which ways they're not, but also like, here's some info on a new app that you might like.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Well, definitely a huge congratulations to you. I cannot wait to see what happens when this finally
Me too.
Can get into people's hands and start using it. And I think that, you know, like as much as you need the help of others too, and it's definitely a support system type of situation, when you have your like hard-earned money into something.
It's your baby. This is my baby.
Yeah. Okay.
Like every day, morning, night, like every night I'll be up till 11, 12 o'clock doing new marketing things, designs and other things. So I enjoy it. It's my passion. And I mean,
you can definitely tell. And you have the personality for it too. I feel like you have thick skin. You can like talk to anybody. And so it's like really, I'm sure, helpful as you're trying to put the word out, trying to get people to get involved. And I think it's only up from here. So I'm excited.
Me too.
Speaking of market research, in preparation for this day.
What do we got?
I want you to know that I've gone on record multiple times saying that I despise dating apps.
Oh.
Which I do.
Is this your
However,
profile?
I have faith in yours. No, I don't have. No. But I did create one.
Okay.
To just see what are dating apps like out there. Because I don't know anymore, right? And I'm just going to share with you a couple of what I like to call Tinder tragedies of profiles that I have seen.
Oh, this is good.
While I was doing this research. Starting off, John, 33. Normal, everyday guy, just looking for some fun. Can be discreet if you prefer. Down for anything. No one likes to get off alone.
Wow. First message?
Oh, no. These are their profiles. Oh. There's no messaging happening. Okay. None involved whatsoever. Then we have Brian, 41. Fully vaxxed, emerging from a very chaste quarantine, and 100% ready for the discotheque.
Oh, my God.
Play your cards right, and I'll show you my Bitmoji. Jonathan, 31. Come back to bed. Wild and real welcome. Fueled by caffeine, sarcasm, and inappropriate thoughts.
That's the winner. That's the winner right there. He's the winner.
I mean, the list goes on and on. The amount of guys whose profiles are like experienced dom, couple looking for a third.
That is very
looking
cringeworthy.
to connect with the like and curious. Yep. I was mortified.
Yeah.
I was absolutely mortified.
So in our app, our questions are actually built to make you uncomfortable. So there's 3 different sections.
With bios like that?
So yeah, with our bios. Yeah. So there's 3 different sections. Well, not like that.
Okay, thank you. I wanted you to clarify there. Yeah.
Different, uncomfortable in a good way, like getting you out of your comfort zone so that the other person who match with you can learn about you. And get
but how can you guys, what are you guys doing to vet the members to avoid
creeps
like that?
Yeah, so there's a 6-stage process that users go through to eliminate all the catfish, eliminate all the inactive users like fake bots. And we're actually using a learning algorithm for certain words. So if someone's being verbally aggressive to you in the messages, using racial words, trying to basically hack your accounts via Cash App or other things like a monetary value, we can actually look through that in like a learning algorithm. And it's all encrypted, but we're doing our best to prevent all these scams because last year alone during the pandemic, over $360 million was taken by just catfish. So basically romance scams. Like your heart, shocking. You would never know that. It's a huge thieving business.
I have seen, have you ever watched Catfish on MTV?
Love it.
Oh, my sister's obsessed with it. She's obsessed with it. And she always is watching it. And I am so shocked at the amount of people who fall for that shit. Yeah. Like, you've never met this human being in person ever.
So why are you talking about money is my point. Like, it's almost so obvious that it's
so
not.
Sad. Yeah, it really is kind of heartbreaking.
Especially for the older people that use the apps, especially on eHarmony. It's...
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I didn't even think about it that way, but you're right. You're right. So obviously I wasn't trying to find my one and only. This was just for research purposes. But say I was, right? Say I was out and I think a lot of girls have this, or guys too, this mindset. It's been a pandemic for 2 years now.
Long.
We're getting older. A lot of my friends are already in relationships. You don't have the opportunity to like go out and mix and mingle that much anymore.
Of course.
And when you do, you don't really have that like wing women. You can't play off each other, whatever. So what is your advice to someone who's like, okay, the dating app is my only option and it failed? Like, what would you say to them to kind of keep their spirits up and keep going, giving another try?
So if they're not using the dating app, I would say definitely get out into the city where the most people are. And if you're not a city person, you should become one soon. Like, honestly, I love Boston. This will always be my home.
I feel like there's a target right on my forehead.
I absolutely love Boston. But if you're single and you're really looking to put yourself in that area, you just need to go where people are. I mean, you're not going to find a relationship in the woods.
In Abington, Massachusetts?
Yeah, it's tough. So I think like going out there and just like talking and mingling people and like getting over that awkward feeling of like, oh, do I approach her or do I not? Like whatever you're doing in your relationship, you really need to put yourself forward and just love yourself for who you are.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I feel like when you're questioning yourself or second guessing yourself, that shows.
Yeah.
So you have to go into it with like no expectations.
A lot of confidence. Just know that like, hey, if she rejects me, she doesn't want to drink or doesn't want to give me her phone number, so be it. Like there's 7.8, 7.9 billion people in this world.
True.
There's a lot of people in Boston.
True. Okay, so if we are not going to mingle in Boston, we're going to do the dating app thing. What are your tips and tricks for creating a strong dating profile online?
Yeah, so I think this
is
a cool one.
You have to be the expert.
Yeah, so I think this is a really cool one. I think having a variety, because on the other dating apps, it's all pretty much picture-based, and if you can choose a short video, choose something of yourself doing an action. That's the way our world is headed. But for your profile pictures, I think choosing something of a variety of like family, here's my friend group. So like if this is you, like having your girlfriends around there. So like they can see like, hey, you're not just a loner, you actually have friends.
That's an interesting perspective because I feel like a lot of people say they don't like group photos because they can never figure out which one you are. But I agree. I think as long as there's
if you have 5 photos, basically choose one with your friends and then the 4 of like, okay, this is me and my mom and dad. And like, this is me working out. This is me on an adventure. This is me on a vacation.
There's a common denominator in at least like every one of the photos. Yeah. Do you think from a male perspective or just a dater's perspective, are selfies a turnoff? Because you go on dating apps and you see a lot of selfies.
Yeah, so I don't think they're a turnoff. I actually took one at the gym today. So
okay. Okay.
So I don't think selfies are a turnoff. I think it's just who you are, and if you look good in that picture, then upload it.
Yeah.
You got to post yourself from different angles, whether you're wearing a sweatshirt or you're wearing a great dress, like, or a suit. Mm-hmm. You need to be authentic with people and just show them, like, this is me for me.
Yeah, I think
the guy or girl is gonna wake up next to you in a bed one day.
Oh,
with no
well,
makeup,
maybe they will, maybe they won't.
But like with no makeup on or something.
So. Corey, I thought we were moving away from that type of dating.
More
Good
authentic.
Lord.
More authentic.
Okay. Well, anyway. But yeah, I think like if you clearly took a selfie with a Snapchat filter on, that's a turnoff for me.
Yeah,
but
I'm
like,
not big on those.
No. But if you like, what, everyone has a personal photographer waiting for them? Like, no. So sometimes a selfie is all you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
I think mirror selfies have to go, but like a selfie can stay.
Yes. I agree.
I'm not a big mirror, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's where you draw the line.
Yeah.
That's where you got it.
That's
Understood. Okay. How soon? So with LuvHut, it's kind of helping you already get through this. But in general, how soon do you think that a match should move from the app to meeting in real life? What's the ideal time frame?
Yeah, so we're actually on our app, we're doing 5 days or less. We think that you should be on a date within 5 days or less.
I agree.
And the faster you book that date, the more rewards you receive, and the longer it takes for you to book a date, the less rewards you receive. So we think it's like
you run a tight ship.
Yeah, but it really goes hand in hand with how our society works. It's very fast paced, and we like convenience. So we want for you to go on a date and know, hey, if this isn't the one, then you shouldn't be talking to them.
Yeah, I agree.
Convenience where you can just book your date right within our app, and you don't.
That's
like,
awesome.
Hey, come to my mom's Italian restaurant down the street. Like, I know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that. Two things. If you wait too long, you either lose interest or you kind of like have too much time to psych yourself up about it. Yeah. So the sooner you can actually get out and just go on the date,
or you match
the better.
With the 4 or 5 other guys on the other hand. In the meantime, and you're like, oh, well, John's going to be a keeper.
Yeah. That could also be it, for sure. If you were having like starting off a conversation with somebody, do you have a go-to conversation starter? Is it like a story from the glory days? You just kind of lean with humor and jokes?
I'm definitely a humor person. Okay. Or I'll compliment something of one of their features.
Okay.
But I'm not like a creep about it. Like, I'm not going to be like, hey, how are you at 2 a.m.? Like,
Got it.
One of those guys.
Yeah.
Or be like, oh, we should do X, Y, and Z right now. Like one of the guys you showed me over there.
Yeah.
I think just being really authentic, just like, or warming up and just being like, hey, like, I'd love to take you out on a date.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people get in their heads on like, you have to have something clever to say before you can reach out. And you should just do whatever feels right to you. If that's a joke, do a joke. Yeah. If it's just like, hey, what's up? How was your day?
Yeah.
And I think that will shine through and it won't be weird if it's just who you are, you know?
I definitely agree.
Okay.
I think there are the people who have those great one-liners, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
I need your book. I need that info.
I know. Like, I see on TikTok like all the things that these people do, and I'm like, how have I never thought of that before? It's insane.
I'm an authentic guy, so I like to keep it
just straight and to the point.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of a first date location, so a lot of restaurants and local businesses that you guys have on the app, like, do you think that dinner and drinks is overdone? Do you think that people should do activities on a first date? What's the real, like, what's the best location?
Yeah, so I think
to get to know each other and break the ice.
Definitely matters. It definitely depends on the person. If you guys want to do an experience, that's awesome. But if you guys, for me, I think first date should really be more of a lounge type of area, and where like you guys can talk, or like a coffee, something very simple, nothing really too complex, unless you both really are hungry and want dinner, then go for it. But
I just feel like sometimes dinner can feel like an interrogation when you don't know each other, because
and then who's going to pay the bill?
Who's going to pay the bill?
Does she like me? Do I pay for her, or do I?
What do you think, a guy should pay or a girl should pay?
I think he should pay.
On the first date?
On the first date.
Until when? Like, when do you think is the time where it's like, okay, as a man, like, I'll start letting her, like, equal partnership? I'm going to need to
do some more data research on that.
Okay, report back. Please do.
Next week.
Let us know.
But, I mean, if you're really into her, I think, and you have the money, it's not a problem. It just depends on your situation.
Yeah.
It's person to person.
I agree.
But for me, I've definitely always paid on the first dates and next 100,000.
Next 100,000. Well, then.
But we will split time to time. Like, I really think it, like, that shouldn't be the crux of, like, oh, like, I don't want to talk to him or her anymore. I really think it's, like, how was your conversation? What do you like about him? Like, what didn't you get out of the conversation that you may want to talk about next time? Or, like, was it not such a good mix for you two on the first date? That,
like that shouldn't be the thing that you go home and think about. There's so many more important things.
Then, like, you probably shouldn't be dating.
That's a very great point of view. I like that a lot.
Thanks.
Now, I have also gone on record saying that I consider myself FBI a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I like to do my research. I like to know what I'm getting myself into. And as much as I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot of great stuff on the app itself, if you think I'm not going to do a little Google, a little like search the tag photos, you're wrong. But how much investigating prior to a date do you think is too much investigating?
I think if you're doing like the reverse phone number stuff,
oh my God,
and like really doing like the background checks, like I think that's way too far. Like we just want to make sure like your social media, your Face ID, and the very last stage, which I'm keeping private, match up. And we're able to authenticate like, okay, are you male or female? Your actual height, which we can authenticate, and your
no,
age.
sir.
Yeah.
So no more lying about being 5'11" and saying
guys,
you're 6 feet?
No more guys 5'9" who's saying they're 6 feet anymore, 5'10", yeah.
How? You can't tell? Is this proprietary information?
It's not really proprietary, but it's more of an authentic way of how you would go out into a city. Think about it that way. If you're going into the city, how am I going to get into a bar? And then we validate all these steps.
Okay, got you. I'm following.
And then, we plug it in your profile. Because I could sign up as Joe Schmo and be 38 and come out as like a young person who's going to take advantage of this girl on a date, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of those people out there. 1 in 8 accounts are catfish. So that means 12.5% of an entire dating app is catfishing.
For real?
Yeah. Like for real.
That blows my mind. Do you have any other fun little stats like that?
The monetary one, 360 million, was taken last year. I believe it's like 63% of women have either been abused verbally or physically on a dating app, yeah. Which like I could see like if you didn't get like the date, some guy like comes after you, but those guys are crazy.
When back in the day, I think like when the dating apps like first came out, I was like, oh, I'm gonna download them, try them. There was this one guy I will like never forget. The first thing he says to me was like, I want you to ride my stick like Donkey Kong. And I was just like, you shouldn't be allowed in public. Yeah. So, I just feel like that shit needs to fucking go in 2022.
Yeah, so it's a lot of weird like first messaging. It's like when people are on these apps, they forget that they're human. But when we're in real life and they approach a girl, they're like, hey, like, love to get your number. Let's get coffee. I'd love to see you next week. I'd love to take you on a date. And then, like, we come on these apps and it's like we're just animals. Like, it's like.
Why do you think that is? It's just like the behind the screen confident?
Yeah. It's either it'll work out or she's going to delete the message and just move on.
Or do you think that, like, I think another part of it, too, is kind of like, it feels so like intangible or abstract. And so it's not like, there's a difference between, it's like kind of like you're not taking it seriously because it doesn't feel real. But then when you meet somebody, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you are a real person and I need to treat you with respect and manners and that sort of thing. Where when you
haven't made that first real interaction, I guess like you can dig around.
Okay. Yeah. Where do you stand on cocktails on the first date? Do you think that they're like, I used to watch $1 Million Matchmaker and Patty used to have her rule that you have a 2-drink maximum.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's appropriate?
I think if alcohol is your weakness and you prefer to be sober during the first date, totally.
Yeah.
You never want to be drunk. Like you never want to leave the first date drunk. Like, you should never do that. You should always leave it sober in the right mindset. But yeah, I think just having the right amount of drinks for you. I mean, like for me, it's like 3, 4, maybe 5.
That's true. I mean, it's different for everybody.
I mean, if you're dating a tall guy, he's probably can drink a gallon.
My last boyfriend was 6'8", and he could only hold 2 drinks.
Oh wow,
the biggest lightweight.
Yeah.
It just depends on everyone's personal situation. But any other little tidbits that I didn't specifically ask that you think are like important for us to know about the app itself?
Yeah, so I think for the app itself, users just really should be reluctant to sign up. I think if you want to try this app and you're into something that's new, that's really built for our time period, our generation in this crazy world, I think it's best that you sign up now for our app. I mean, you're going to get the advantage of using the app early, inviting your girlfriends or guy friends into the app.
Yeah.
And when you're not booking a solo date, we offer group dates. So you can actually go on a group date setting where it's not like an interview and you can bring one of your guy or girlfriends with you and like, these are your best friends.
So how does that work?
Yeah. So when you match with someone, you can basically add one of your friends in there as a group date, and the person that originally took the date. So say if you match with me.
Okay.
I would add one of my guy friends in there, and you would add one of your girlfriends in there because we want to go on a group date.
But then do they have to accept each other?
They would have to accept each other.
So you just rotate the friends out?
So it's kind of not really rotating, but it's really facilitating a way to meet new people.
Okay.
Because your friend usually can kind of date one of your guy friends. I mean, that's how friend groups work. It's like, oh, like I'm interested in him. And like, you get those little cliques of like friends that are actually dating each other, and then you tend to hang out.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. So people in their 30s to like, I would say 29 to like 35, 36 enjoy group dating because it's less interview-like and like less stressful. There's no questions. It's more like, hey, like let's just hang out and like get to know one another, and then we kind of go our separate ways. Like you feel safe. It's like, it's a lot more safe having your best friend with you rather than being like, like
100%.
I'll text you in 2 hours. If I'm not home by 8 o'clock, like call the police.
Oh, I
like,
did that too.
And like how many people have done that, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's like,
check on me in the AM.
Yeah. You're like, here's my location. Yeah. Like if you don't hear back from me, like call my mom and call the FBI and everyone else.
Yes, everyone. No, I like that. Definitely. I think that, again, like it's the interrogation thing that I think feels a little uncomfortable for people. So on a first date, you're just going back and forth with questions, but with more people, there's a conversation. So it takes the pressure off. But also I think there's an accountability factor too, because I think I'd be a lot more apt to flake on a guy I've never met than flake on my best friend. And like if she's excited about it and she's all about it, and I know like we kind of have each other, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just do it.
Like at least you get to leave the date with your best friend and like not alone being like, oh yeah, that sucked and I split the bill $50.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's so uncomfortable when you're like, okay, I'm ready to go home, but like I don't know if like
is it right? And like you're like there, you're like, oh, is it going to be an hour date or are we going to talk for like 3 hours?
Yes,
and it's like one of those. It's in the middle. It's either like it sucks so bad I have to leave, or it's like I'm trying to please you, or it's like I really love it and we're gonna go on a date.
Yeah, but I feel like if there's more people, it's less of like, well, I think we should get going. Like someone says, oh, I have to work early in the morning. Oh, me too. Oh, like and then
like,
you get
she's
the
my ride home.
Yeah,
and then I gotta go.
Yeah,
and it's like
okay, that's really cool. And then how does that affect the date suggestions if it is a group date? Like, is it if we were matched and then we invited our friends? Is it already based on what our algorithm was, or does them coming into the picture change anything?
No, so that's completely separate. You just get to add these people.
Okay.
Like this is like, hey, this is my best friend. I want to go on a group date.
Okay, and they have to be members?
They have to be members. So but you can always send like an invite link to one of your friends who aren't a member yet.
Okay,
and she
very
just
cool.
makes a profile, and then up comes her face.
And on the Instagram page, after the app goes live, like what type of content can we expect to see? Are you going to be showing like demos on how to use the app, how to like have like more dating tips and tricks? Is it like
so it's definitely going to be more dating tips and tricks. Hopefully we have testimonials by then. Like after the first week, we have a record number of dates. But we're going to have dating tips and tricks. We have dating coaches already who have been on the Millionaire Matchmaker and stuff. So they've been featured. My attention. Yeah, they've been featured on that. So we're gonna start connecting with like all these influencers and really start growing our brand. But we're also working with interns to kind of help with the marketing on campuses. So we have over 17 partnerships throughout New England and a couple schools down south as well that are helping us grow our brand.
Well, I am so excited for you.
Thank you.
Before I let you go and start to wrap this up, typically I will say we have females, unless I'm looking for a male perspective, but I feel like you are, like I said, a great fit for this. But we like to offer advice, like from my experience, what have I learned? What do I wish I knew when, if people at home are either, you can have your choice. If you want to give them advice on creating a business or a startup or dating and finding a relationship, what is your one liner that you want them to take with them?
Oh God, I think I'll give a little bit of both.
Okay, give me one of
I'll
each.
give
I'll
like
take
an
it.
entrepreneur mind, like
Okay.
start if you want to start a business.
Yeah.
And then like dating. So if you want to start a business, definitely find something that you're passionate about and figure out, can I service people with this? Figure out the problem. Also do a lot of research on Google to see, is someone else already doing what you're doing in the marketplace? Because if they are, it's going to be a tough business to follow. And if no one's doing all of that, then really start seeing like, hey, like, is my solution right for all these people? And how I started growing LuvHut, it was a thesis problem in my senior year of class. And I basically had to pitch my entire classroom. It was 30, 35 kids. And I was also working in the entrepreneurship center, working with a person from MIT and Harvard. He's a MIT career coach who has grown many businesses. And I ended up pitching them. They loved it. So if they're loving it, there has to be a market for something.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to start posting polls and stuff on Instagram, and people were like, oh my God, yes, this is the problem. I was like, okay, I'm definitely onto something. For dating, I think if you are single and you're having that difficulty in just like the dating life and stuff, like I think you really just need to push yourself out there.
Yeah.
And for my app itself, it's been tough to grow it because I was a solo founder. Luckily, we just had a great partnership with TechRup Innovations. They're a startup accelerator, and they're developing our app. So we basically went from a one-man person to a 9-10-man show.
That's awesome.
Accelerate our app so we can get it in your hands.
Yeah. Okay, well, I am so appreciative.
Thank
there
you.
is a lot of good stuff. I loved learning about the process itself, and then it's fun to kind of hear your point of view on the dating stuff. Once again, Cory Gorovitz, you can go on LuvHut dating app. It's LUV, or you can go find him personally at Gorovitz23. Check out the website, theluvhut.com, and then you'll be the first to know when this thing
up.
finally goes live,
When
baby.
it launches, we'll send you a link and you'll be able to upload your profile and find all these brand new singles. And it's going to be like a really refreshing start of people who you really haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Because the other dating apps are just like saturated with so many fake people and so many people who are like using 4 different accounts on all these different dating apps. It's going to be a nice new fresh start for our group.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you again so
Thanks for
much
having
for
me.
joining. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys out there, and we will see you next week.
Be safe.
Bye.